Hi, and welcome to Psychology 2301. My name is Jody Hutchinson, and I'm your instructor. I get the privilege to teach you remotely this semester, but I'm really excited because I'm going to do everything that I can to make it seem like I'm right next to you, teaching as you learn. So I'm excited about growing with my use and practice of technology. And I realize that that is not going to always be something that everyone is excited about. So if you're already feeling overwhelmed and it's day one and you're thinking, how am I going to do all of this? Let's take a collective deep breath together. It's going to be okay. I'm here to support you throughout the semester. I have intentionally paced this course at a pace I expect you to follow. This is not self-paced. I'm going to tell you what you should be working on, when you should be working on it to be the most successful that you can be for my course. Okay, so this is just an introductory video to show you the course so you can see my face so that I can kind of let you know what my expectations are. I'm going to treat this video like it was the first face-to-face class that we have where we're meeting in person. So welcome to class. This is Psychology 2301. I might have had a few of you before in other classes, but for most of you, you're probably a new student for me. So I'm thankful to have the privilege to teach you, and I'm excited about this semester. So let's explore our Blackboard course, which I have pulled up. Now, you've gotten this far because this is where you access this video, right? But I just want to start off with the home page. When you log in, you're going to see exactly what I'm seeing here, except you're not going to see this phrase here that says student preview. So I'm going to move this up a little bit. There we go. You won't see student preview mode is on. It will just look normal to you. So you found this video in the Getting Started section. I'm going to go there first. Over here on our course menu, we see Read Me First. And that's where this Getting Started unit is found. I'm going to scroll up. So for the first 3 days, this is where I want you to hang out, okay? In a face-to-face class, we would not be sharing content the first day. We would be talking about the syllabus. It's syllabus day today, okay? So I'm going to go over a few things with you. I'm not going to make a really long video because I know that you can read the syllabus on your own, but I want to address a couple of issues with you. This is what I'm expecting you to do. I want you to read the syllabus, which includes a schedule, to check out the course orientation, to read my course frequently asked questions, and also check out these important documents regarding academic honesty, how to use Respondus lockdown browser, distance education, frequently asked questions. This is going to be a great resource for you all semester, and the copyright notice, okay? What I want you to do, I just mentioned, was to read all documents in this Getting Started section, which you hopefully already did. If you went ahead and clicked on this video, you're like, I'm just going to watch the video. Like, you need to go ahead and read those too, because I'm not going to repeat. I'm not going to read these documents to you. That would be a waste of our time. So you're watching the introduction to our course video right now. Good job. Then I want you to make sure that you secure your supplies. So I'm going to go ahead and address those. Like, what do you need for this class? You need your textbook. That's one of the frequently asked questions. This is what it looks like. Yes, you absolutely need your textbook every semester, especially this semester, because I want you to be reading, and you're going to learn better if you read before you come to class. And we'll talk about coming to class virtually as we get to that point in the syllabus. So you need to get this textbook. I'm going to show you again that this is what it looks like. The purchasing information is in the syllabus, but you might want to pause it right now if you want to take a look at what it looks like. Okay, there's a chameleon on the cover. And you probably want, you absolutely have to, besides your textbook, need to have reliable internet and technology. I'm going to mention this now and several other times. Like, I'm recording this during a time where I know there's not a lot of internet usage at my house because we are a streaming family. So we're streaming at times like 2 to 3 televisions at a time, plus maybe using the internet with my laptop. So I'm not going to be on my computer trying to do work. Like, I would not take a test during a time period where I know my household or my community is going to be like really using the internet. So be wise about your time and personal management and your technology. I'm using an external webcam right now, which is not a requirement. You can use an internal webcam, but I want to show you the benefit of an external webcam. For one thing, the clarity of this one is so much better than my internal webcam. I had to put on a little bit of makeup because the resolution is better. So I'm going to show you what this looks like when we talk about Respondus. So let's go ahead and cover the syllabus. So there's a direct link here, okay? And this is something that you want to be able to frequently reference. Almost all of the questions you have for this course can be answered in the syllabus. I have edited this and checked it multiple times. I probably still might have like 1 or 2 unintentional errors or mistakes. So if you read something that doesn't make sense, please contact me. Send me a course message. Course messages are here. Okay, so let's talk about that. Like, this is the official means of communication. If you need to contact me, you have a question at any point in the semester, you should use a course message. Some of you have reached out to me before the semester and emailed me and said, "Hi, I'm in your class. I'm trying to get my supplies. What book do I need?" But you didn't tell me which class you're in. And I teach 3 different types of psychology. So I had to ask you, or maybe I took the time to look up which class you're in. With course messages, I know which class you're in because I'm getting this message here. So if you're going to create a course message to me, you would go to create message and you would search for my name by selecting 2, and you can search, let's see, my resolution's kind of bad right now. You can scroll, I'm going to say Hutchinson. No, I'm going to actually have to go try to find my name. Here we go. But it's not going to say preview user, it's say instructor. And then you're going to hit this over button, like I'm going to be the recipient of this message, all right? And then you're going to ask me, type regular email. This subject, trouble with the textbook. Please do not email me like, okay, do I really need the book? Yes, you do. Okay, you really do need it. I ordered my text and it's not going to be in for a while. Is that okay? The answer to that is you want to get it as soon as you can. And you can get your textbook in any format that it's available as long as it's the correct text. And the most recent edition that we're looking for is the 3rd edition. Okay, so if you have a question about anything, you send me a message through course messages. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Go back to our syllabus, and I'm going to open it in a new window so that we can kind of toggle back between the syllabus and other places on Blackboard. So I have 3 different sections, which means I have 105 students in this class. If it takes me a little bit to get back to you, remember, there are 104 other students in this class with you, okay? I will do my best. The way that you can contact me, as I mentioned, was through course messages or through my Google Voice number. So this is a number that's connected to my phone, my cell phone, but this is not my cell phone number. When you call it, it's going to say, please state your name. And I want you to very clearly say your name. Matt Frazier, or whatever your name is. And then it's going to try to connect you. Now, sometimes it doesn't pop up to me as like, hey, this is a student that might be calling you. It's just some random number. So I'm going to do my best during office hours to answer every single call that I get if I'm not helping someone else. But if I'm on the phone with someone else, and keep in mind, 105 students in this class. I also have 3 more classes that have probably close to 105 students in that class too, okay? So if I'm not answering, it's because I'm helping another student during these office hours. So Monday through Friday, Monday and Tuesday are my longer office hour days. I'm going to be available on the phone, and I'm going to be on Blackboard checking course messages from 9 to 11 on Monday and 9 to 11 on Tuesday. I'm going to take a lunch break, and I'll be back online for an hour in the afternoon, 1:30 to 2:30. Wednesday, just 9 to 10. Thursday, Friday, 9 to 10, and then Thursday, another afternoon office hour. So you're like, but I'm a working student and I'm busy at all those times, but I want to be able to get your help. I understand. You can send me a course message through Blackboard. That is our official way to contact me. If there's a problem with Blackboard, and only if there's a problem with Blackboard, you may email me at my WCJC email. But again, contact me through course messages, because I will know exactly which class you're in, and I can more effectively and quickly answer your question, okay? If there is a specific time that you would be available to talk and you would rather talk, send me a course message, and maybe you say, you know, are you available Wednesday at 3 o'clock to give me a phone call? I probably would be. So if we need to set up teleconferencing, and, you know, I want to be mindful of our time, so like 5 or 10 minutes on the phone. You can also text this number, okay? If you choose to text it, then you need to tell me who you are and which class you're in. You are in my Psychology 2301 class. You can say I'm in Psych 2301, or I'm in your general psychology class, and then I will know how to answer your question. If you just say, hey, I'm in your psychology class, I will have no idea which class you're talking about without taking the time to like go and look for you in my 3 online classes. So save us some time and very clearly state your name and the class that you're in, or text it when you're texting me, okay? Now, if you try to contact me very late at night or early in the morning, I'm going to be asleep. If it's something like you don't want to forget about, I keep my phone on silent when I'm not awake, so you're not going to wake me up. I do wake up really early, like Monday through Friday. I'm up at 3:45 to go work out pretty early. So I don't want to accidentally forget to write you back by the time I show up to my 9 o'clock office hours. So that's why I think course messages would be best, where you send me a course message and then you say, can you call me at this time during the day? I have a question. That would be great. Also, as you're learning, if there's something you're unsure about that you want me to address, like, could you please explain the difference between an independent and a dependent variable? Like, that's going to be in chapter 1. If you say, I'm having trouble with that, can you elaborate on it? Then, whenever I have a Blackboard Collaborate session, which is basically like a live session where I'm able to answer your questions, maybe you can't attend the time that I select. It won't be at these times. It'll be at a different time during the week, okay? Or maybe even on the weekend. We'll see. If you have a question and you want me to explain that, then I will explain that specific unit question that you have during a Blackboard Collaborate session. And I'm not going to say, so Suzanne wants to know. I'll just say, hey, someone asked a question about the difference between independent and dependent variable. Allow me to elaborate, and then I will continue to answer your question for the benefit of everyone. And I will record that session, so if you can't attend it live, then you can go back and watch it later. Let me go ahead and show you where that's going to be at, okay? So this is the WCJC homepage. Here's Blackboard Collaborate. I don't have anything over here in the course menu for it, but what I plan to do is probably put it in the lesson units. Right now, all you see is getting started, okay? That's where we just were. If I was gonna have a getting started Blackboard Collaborate, I would put it here and it would be a link to show you where to go, okay? So I'm still building this course, bear with me. Everything you need for like the first couple of days is here, all right? Let's go back to the syllabus. Let's talk grades. So you have a total of 600 points. I grade on point total. I am not averaging these grades. You merely earn points per assignment, and then these are the total point value at the end of the semester, okay? The most you can earn is 600. I'm going to go over each of those with you now. So scrolling down the syllabus, these are important things I want you to read on your own, especially that the last day to drop is Friday, November the 20th. And if you're a student with ADA accommodations, I should be getting an email about your accommodations, but you should follow up with me about them through course messages. So I said we talk about grades. Let's continue with this, with the order of the syllabus here. Again, course messages is best. Here's my Google Voice number. Tell me that you're in this class. Here's a link to my email. If there's a problem with Blackboard, then you can email me, and that can be found on the website. And then I talked about those Blackboard Collaborate sessions here. These general education core objectives and student learner outcomes are going to identify like the things you're going to learn this semester. So you can read those on your own. And I already went over what's required. If you're purchasing this textbook, you can get it in any format. Hardback, I've seen some that you put in like a folder, like a loose leaf folder. There are e-versions. I think I found a version of this textbook on Amazon for around $50. I think it was an ebook. I'm not sure if that's still available or not. You can only drop 6 courses your entire collegiate career. So if you're considering dropping a course, like for this class or any class, if you're considering dropping a course, talk to your instructor first. Let us know your concerns. Let us have like an academic counseling session with you to see how you're doing in this class and what the likelihood of you doing well really will be. As I mentioned, this is an instructor-paced online course. So I want you to be checking into Blackboard every day if possible, okay, because I will be, or at least every 2 to 3 days. Because if you were in a face-to-face class with me, I'd see you either every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every Tuesday, Thursday. So keep that in mind with how frequently you sign into Blackboard, okay? I don't have the Blackboard app because as an instructor, it would look different for me. But in the past, when I've used Blackboard in my face-to-face classes, students say that they like the Blackboard app. It should be alerting you when I share new content. Now, I don't know if this is still the case, but I think that sometimes it sends you a notification at midnight. Like if I shared something today, and I'm recording this on Sunday, okay? So if I shared something today, then you might get an email or like an alert to push notification at midnight Monday morning that there's new content. So if that's still the case, you probably want to turn either your phone on silent or when you sleep, or turn those notifications off and just check it in the morning. I want to be really clear about, I want you to work out any technology issues you have. You need to work those out this week because you don't want to be in a position where you don't have the technology that's going to help you be successful for your test. Testing is stressful in the classroom, okay? Testing is going to be stressful online if you don't feel confident in your technology. So let's try to work out those kinks now. They are not going to be a valid reason for you not taking your test. We have 4 unit exams. Your textbook has, I think, 14 or 15 chapters. This newer version includes an additional chapter. They broke down a bigger chapter into, they just created a new one. So this is a new text for me too. That's why you don't see all the units available right now, because I don't want you to try to get too far ahead, and I'm still working on them. So there are 15 chapters, and each test or unit is going to have about 4 chapters in it, okay? The 4 unit exams are going to evaluate specific sections. There's a topical outline further down that shows you what we're covering, okay? So right now, this Getting Started section, it's open because you're here and you're watching this video. Great job. The Unit 1 is going to include chapters 1, 2, 4, and 5. That's going to open for you on Thursday, September the 3rd. Okay, so if you're watching this and it's not September the 3rd, and you're wanting to get ahead, you're like, but I want to be prepared, then start reading chapter 1. All right. I'm also going to have the APA assignment open at that same time because chapter 1, you need to read chapter 1 and learn about it with me before you work on your APA assignment. All right. So these are the opening dates. They're going to stay open too. All right. So once you finish Unit 1 and you test on it, you'll be testing through September 28th, and then the 29th, Unit 2 opens. Well, I'm still going to keep Unit 1 open because your final exam is going to be comprehensive, which means your final exam will test you over all of the chapters. That might seem intimidating, but you have the opportunity to do very well in the final exam if you try your best and do your best on each of these unit exams. As you're preparing for these unit exams, you're preparing for the final exam. So take good notes. Yes, you should be taking notes, and do the reviews that I'm going to have for you. And by completing the reviews and studying, you're going to do really well on all these tests. So that'll boost your average, and you won't have to stress about doing phenomenally on your final exam, but it's going to prepare you to do really, really well on your final exam. So unit exams are going to be, I think, 25 or 30 multiple choice questions. Let's see if I actually set a number here. I think I just said multiple choice questions. Maybe I didn't say it at all. Well, they're going to be multiple choice questions. I don't have any essay test questions. I know most of you are pretty happy about that. One moment. I lost my video. All right, so you are not going to be able to use your notes on this test. All right, this is going to be just like you're taking a multiple choice test in my classroom and I'm watching you. Instead of me watching you, you will be required to use Respondus lockdown browser and monitor for every test after the syllabus acknowledgement quiz. So every single test is going to be secured with Respondus monitor and lockdown browser. All right. Let me come back to that. Okay, I want to talk to you about grades first, and then we'll talk about Respondus monitor and lockdown browser. The final exam is, like I mentioned, comprehensive. So going back up to these grades, let's see. I think I have a better, here we go. Unit exams. Out of the first 4 unit exams, I'm going to take the best 3 test grades. These are not set up in gradebook yet because I haven't entered the tests into gradebook yet. But as I do, you're going to see your tests appear in the unit that they correspond to. So I'm going to go back to lesson units. In the future, this is where you would see a Unit 1 folder. And when you click on the Unit 1 folder, everything that you need to do in that unit, including the Unit 1 test, will appear in there. Okay, so I'll make another short video showing you that once it's available to you. Let's go back to the syllabus. So every unit will have an activity, a PowerPoint, and a video to watch. In addition, probably some web links, okay? So the exam will be the last thing that you do for that unit. When it opens, you'll get instructions about what I want you to do, which will be like read the chapter, take notes on the PowerPoint, and then watch the instructional video for the unit. and I'm going to lecture with the PowerPoint visible like I'm doing right now. So you'll see the PowerPoint. I'm going to be going faster than you would be able to take notes. That's why you might want to take notes on the PowerPoint first with the review that's going to be available for the Unit 1 test. So each test is worth 100 points, but I'm going to drop the lowest test grade, which means that you can end up doing well even if you fail a test. I do not recommend that you intentionally miss a test. You want to take the test to get the experience of taking the test, okay? So that unit exam test is worth 100 points. You're going to have the best 3 out of 4 tests counting towards your grade. Another assignment that you're going to do for each unit is this unit activities. Each unit activity is going to be 20 points. Come back up to that. Maybe it's not in here. Your first unit activity grade is going to be to do the Respondus Lockdown Browser Monitor test. That is here in this Read Me First section. I can't show this to you with the student preview, but what you want to do is read how to test with Respondus to go through this, and let me show you, there are things to click on. So it says download and install the lockdown browser. You would want to watch the video, scroll down this whole page, reading it, then coming back up here to launching the test. So there are these short little lessons that you're going to do to help you learn how to use Lockdown Browser, okay, and Respondus Monitor. What I want to show you about the webcam setup, watch this video, go through it. I'm going to show you an example of an environmental scan. So I have an external webcam. What I would do is take it off, and I would show my desk. As you can see, the problem here is my phone's right there. That would not pass an environmental scan. I want to scoot back and show my workspace. I've got my textbook here. That's not a good idea. You would lose points for that. I've got notes right here. That's not good. Got some lipstick to put away. And then I'm going to show, you want to be wearing shorts or pants. Good for that today. That there's nothing beside me. This is a good environmental scan as far as like the time that I'm taking to show. But the problem with it is that I have some unauthorized materials, my phone. I'm also wearing a smartwatch. You cannot, oh, there we go. You cannot be wearing that while you're testing. This would not pass. You would lose multiple points for that. If I were using my internal webcam here, then you would have to like pick up the laptop and move it around. But I want you to practice that because I want to be able to give you some feedback about whether or not that was a good environmental scan. One moment while I reposition this. So that's why I want you to spend a couple of days like working on this. This is not something you should feel like you've got to do right away, but I know that your other instructors are going to want you to do the sample test. So once you do it for one of us, you're going to feel more confident moving forward, and you're going to earn a unit activity for me. Going back to the syllabus, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to this bottom page. You can see this is our calendar for assignments and exams. So you should, you will not be able to open Unit 1 until you read and complete the syllabus acknowledgement quiz. Okay, you need to do that by Saturday, September the 5th by 5 p.m. All of my deadlines are 5 p.m. because I don't want you up late at night waiting to the last minute to do stuff and then freaking out that like technology isn't working. Plus, later on in the evening when people are like at home streaming and using internet, like it's going to be more congested, so just keep that in mind. The practice exam and Respondus, you're going to earn a unit activity for me. Let's see, I think it's 5 points. I'm going to go back up here and double check. Yes, just so when you're taking a Respondus monitor test, it's going to say that you should state your name. So you're going to look at the camera Jody Hutchinson. And it's going to ask you for an ID, and you need to put it up close where you can clearly see the person's, your face and your ID. I'm going to scoot back a little bit, that might be better. Okay, I'm holding it there long enough for me to clearly see it, okay? Let me go over a couple of things with that. I want you to be sure that, and I'm sorry I'm bouncing all around, this would be me in real life, so you're getting the authentic version of me. There are expectations, okay, that we have, and all of your instructors, like we're going to have these guidelines about if you don't do these things on Respondus before you take your test, you're going to get point deductions. So even if you do well, like let's say you earn an A or B on your test, but you don't do some of these things, then you could earn penalties that are going to be up to earning a 0 for the test. So if you don't do the practice exam before the Unit 1 test, you're going to lose 20 points to that first grade. There's no reason why that should happen to anyone, okay? Valid photo ID. If you forget to show your ID, then you could result in a penalty up to a 0 for that exam. Correct placement of the webcam. You must be visible. If I'm like here, that's not going to be ideal because it looks like maybe I'm looking at something else. Complete environment scan, we talked about that. Microphone turned on and recording. If I don't have sound, you're going to lose points up to a 0. So I get to review all of this footage, and I will be reviewing it and letting you know for the practice test, like, hey, good job, or yeah, I couldn't see your ID very well. Like, that's what this practice test is for. So I can give you some feedback and say, like, yes, you're doing this right, or no, you need to fix this for the first test. You need to be seated at a table. That can be like a lap table. If you're going to sit on a couch or something, you need something flat, but a desk or a table would be preferred. There should be no one else in the room. Right now, my son's in the other room, and so some of the background noise you hear might be him, but when you're testing, you need to make sure that this is a distraction-free environment, that there's no one else around, that you're not looking all around. If something like that happens, like let's say you have a pet or a child, like my husband barges in, then I need to address that and say, I did not expect this to happen. Someone just knocked on the door. I have to go and get that. I'll be right back. Or really, that's not ideal. Like, you want to be in the zone testing. Like, I would not let you leave the classroom to during a test face to face. So you need to be in a position where you can spend 30 minutes taking your test. Okay. So I believe I'm going to have 25 questions and then have 30 minutes for you to take it. Unless you have ADA accommodations, then that time would be adjusted accordingly. But most students in my face-to-face classes can take a 25-question test in well under 30 minutes, okay? That means you need to be prepared because you will not be allowed to use any type of help. So you have to be in the webcam view. If you disappear and then you come back, I don't know what you were doing then, okay? No unauthorized materials. You can't have anything, so I would have to take my watch off, set it aside, and maybe even make sure like I'm not wearing any technology. No AirPods. If I have AirPods, these are just really pretty earrings. If I have AirPods in, you're going to lose a point deduction up to 0 for the test. I think that's down here. Can't have any music or anything recording. So you're going to come and take the test on test day with Respondus like you were sitting in front of me and testing. That's not something to be stressed out about. That's why you should do this practice test so that you will be prepared on the test day. Okay. I will be giving you feedback and letting you know, hey, your practice test looked good. So that is your first unit exam. The other unit exams I think are really fun. I'm going to give you a preview, okay? So I know a lot of you probably like to watch movies or series or binge watch or read or watch documentaries. So there's psychology in everything that we do. And I can watch, my sons and I just finished the 2nd season of The Umbrella Academy. There's a lot of psychology in there. And in the second season, we see, although they don't say it, it looks like one of the characters has autism. So we were talking about that quite a bit as a family because my son Bradley has, he's on the autism spectrum and he's high functioning. So we were talking about, hey, this character's probably on the spectrum too. So what the unit activity is going to be is just a way for you to identify one main concept that you're learning in that whole unit, which is going to be 3 or 4 chapters, and then choosing media like a movie or a series that that you see that in, or a book. If you're like, I don't watch TV, but I read, okay? Something that you see that in and you're going to apply it to. So specific details, and it's going to be a 1-page double-spaced paper that you submit as an assignment before the deadline. I hope that you have fun with that. I think it would be a really fun assignment to do, and I'm going to have fun grading them. So anyway, you'll get more details about that in the Unit 1 folder, okay? That is going to be mostly your unit activities. Coming back up here. No, I'm sorry, back down here. When we were looking at, you know, what's going to be graded, I think it's here. We talked about the practice test with 5 points. Each of those unit activities, so there's 4 of the main content units, and then the 5th unit is going to be your final exam. Just kind of overview, right? So 20 points for each of those. At the end of the semester, unit activity is going to be you kind of like reflecting on what was your favorite thing that you learned, and then just discussions or student co-interaction, like you interacting with other people in this class, is a requirement for online instruction. So I'll have 1 graded discussion at the end of the semester, and I will put more information about that in the unit folder. I'm going to go ahead and go to discussion zone and kind of talk to you about what you should expect for discussions. Up until the point where we get to the end of the semester discussion, we have a couple of we have a discussion board. And if you come over here to the content, you can see that there are 2 discussions here. There's course questions, and this forum is for, like, if you have a question about general class questions. This is something you would raise your hand about regarding, like, my class, if you're sitting in my class. Not a question about, like, oh, can you tell me more about autism spectrum disorder? Like, that's going to be in a unit. That would be a unit question that you don't see yet because the unit folders are not open, okay? But that, I believe, is going to be in Unit 3. So if you're reading about it and you're wanting to know, okay, what is the difference between, can you please clarify autism spectrum disorder and Asperger's syndrome? Maybe you don't see that answer in your textbook. That's not something I would be testing you on, but if you just want to know and you put it in the Unit 3 questions, then I can answer that when we have a Blackboard Collaborate session. Now remember, those are optional, but will be recorded so that you can get that information. These 2 are optional along with the Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4 discussion boards. I do want you to do student introductions because I want to get to know you. So that's going to be one of the things that you would do for me on Read Me First. And that would be right here. It's just going to be a link for you to answer. I created a sample one here. I answered myself, so you can click on it and see my answer. And this is about the length that I'm looking for, okay? I just tell a little bit about myself. I answered the questions that are listed. If you want to reply, if you want to say, like, oh, hey, I like Marvel Comics too, or whatever, you can. But it's not necessary, okay? There won't be a requirement to reply to other students until we get to the end of the semester discussion. So I just kind of wanted to show you that for now. The discussion board is not something that is required at this point, but you will eventually be graded on 1 discussion at the end of the semester. So you might want to be, just kind of familiarize yourself with that, with this section. So let me go back to the syllabus. And what I just explained was all of this information here with the course discussions. If you have an additional question about that, let me know within the discussion board under course questions. I think that would be something good to say, like follow-up course question. What you would end up doing is clicking on it, and then you're going to create a thread. and you'll see the question here. You might say, question about discussions. And then you could write your question here. Now, some of you pay attention very well and you read well and you are going to be able to answer these questions for your classmates, but I do not want you to answer your classmates' questions, and I have that here in the prompt. Not because I don't think you're capable. I'm sure most of you are like, hey, I know the answer to that. But what I want you to do is allow me to answer the question, and then that can confirm that yes, you were correct, and you can feel you can just pat yourself on the back for that one. But I don't want anyone accidentally misinforming another student, okay? I do that all the time. So if I'm the one responding, like I've been wrong a couple of times in my life. I'm sure you have too. Being really sarcastic right now. So we all make mistakes, but as the instructor, I would rather be the one who's answering these questions rather than unintentional misinformation getting out there and confusing people. So if you think you know the answer to either a course discussion or a unit discussion question, then just hold on to that and wait and see what I say, and then you can be like, yes, I got that right, or you can be like, oh, I'm glad I didn't say anything. If you want to, within like the unit one, if you want to recommend like a film or a movie or something like that for a unit activity, I might have like within there like unit 1 activity recommendations, and I'll throw some out there and you guys can too. Whenever you're communicating with me or with your classmates in a discussion, let's make sure that we're using professional communication, respectful communication. Don't type anything that you wouldn't say to someone face to face. And if it's mean, just don't say it, okay? That could result, like inappropriate, disrespectful comments could result in point deductions. So let's not do that. This is a place of encouragement, and I won't tolerate that at all. I don't expect it either. So we've covered discussions now. So there's only a teeny part of your grade that's going to be affected by that one discussion. But unit activities, this is a great way to get a 100. Like you're totally capable of earning 100 for these unit activities and end of semester discussion. Just follow the directions, or there will be rubric and an example. Like I'm writing up an example about what I expect to see that would get full credit for each of these sections or unit activities. The unit exams we talked about, the APA assignment. APA is American Psychological Association. I am going to have information about that in the Unit 1 folder. It may not be ready Wednesday. If it isn't, like, don't worry, okay? It'll be done this week. And it will be something, it's a multi-step process. Let me see if I have more information up here. You're going to find an academic journal article through our database. I will make a video showing you exactly how to do that, and it can be over anything. But you need to learn about Chapter 1 first and the different types of research, because you need to choose either a correlational or experimental study. So you need to know what those things are before you go out and research, but you can start thinking about, like, what am I interested in psychology? And flip through your textbook. Maybe you are interested in autism spectrum disorder, or you're interested in the sleep cycle and sleep disorders, or maybe you're interested in how music affects mood, or like there's a ton of stuff. And you can really choose any topic. I am not going to judge your topic. So if you choose something like the effects of cocaine or MDMA, I'm not going to presume that those are things that you enjoy partaking in. Maybe you're just really interested in those, and that's okay. Same thing with if you're interested in suicidal ideation and how that impacts college students, or how college students are sometimes stressed, and there's a ton of information and research about stress and stress management. So I will share more details with this, but if you're intimidated by writing, I want to encourage you that you're going to get a ton of support from me on how to do really well on this written assignment. I will teach you APA style, including paraphrasing. I will teach you APA citation, and I will be happy to look at your work before you submit it if you have a question, okay? But this is another opportunity for you to do really well and earn up to 100 points for that written APA assignment. The final exam is going to be comprehensive. It will include material from the entire semester. So that's how you earn a good grade. You want to start off with the attitude that you're going to do your best, that you're going to have fun, that you're going to learn a lot, and that you're going to be disciplined. So I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Grading response time, you should get your test grade back probably immediately after taking it. You'll see what your grade was or how many you got correct. I'm going to try to create the setting where you cannot see what you missed. If you really want to know what you missed, I think I'm going to try to set up the results to be released either like through me upon your request or after the testing period's over. Like, I haven't decided that yet. I'm working on that. Our first test is not for a couple of weeks, so I have some time to figure that out. I will review your Respondus footage and make adjustments to grade. So realize you might have earned an 88, but if you didn't show me your ID and you didn't do an environmental scan, your 88 could turn into a failing grade because you did not follow the directions that I have outlined. So make sure that you take that Respondus practice exam so I can give you feedback and say, yes, good job, or no, you have to do these things next time. So I do not accept late work or makeup work for any reason. Don't wait until the last minute. Have you ever been late for something in your life? If you have, don't wait until an hour before the assignment is due to try to submit it. Submit it early or on time, not on time. Submit it early if it's an assignment. And if you have a problem with it, then I can help you, okay? If it doesn't send properly, then you have time to correct that. If you're taking a test, I would plan to try to take the test on the first day that the test is open. That way, if you have technical difficulties, you have more time to figure it out. You can contact me, and you should probably take the first test during business hours when I'm awake. And if something happens, you can get your phone and be like, my screen is frozen. I'm calling you on my Google Voice, and then call me. Or take a screenshot, document any technical problems you have so that I can work with you. If you're just like, well, it wouldn't work, and I was on there like 5 minutes before 55 and my test wouldn't work, like I don't have a whole lot of opportunity to help you at that point. Please read this technology outage policy. I just kind of reviewed that. We've already talked about that. So I would take a screenshot of this. If you pull this up on your phone, like, this is a calendar that you can use all semester. If I need to change any dates or if I've made an error, then I will correct that, and I will also send out an announcement for the whole class to know about. We have some holidays. Those are in this like pinkish color. The assignments are in blue and the tests are in yellow because I like to keep it color coded and organized for you. We do have, on the holidays that we have, I didn't assign anything. I mean, I'm available, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to be as responsive as a normal school day, okay? Same thing for the weekends. Like, if you need to contact me over the weekend, I will be checking Blackboard course messages. So send me a course message over the weekend if you need to. There will be times where, like, maybe during my office hours, if you can't get a hold of me, it's because I'm helping one of my other like 200 students, okay? So be patient with me, but my turnaround time for response is usually 24 hours. If I haven't gotten back to you in 24 hours, then please try contacting me again. Do not send me multiple course messages or texts if it has been less than 24 hours. Perhaps I just haven't had a chance to get back to you, okay? So one is good, unless there's something really important that you forgot to leave off of that first message. Also, do not try to contact me through social media, okay? You are welcome to follow me on Instagram if you want to know what my life is like. that's fine, but don't send me messages through social media that are school related at all. Course messages and Google Voice are the way to go. So back to read me first. I think I covered the syllabus, and then at that point you would take the syllabus acknowledgement quiz. That's you agreeing and saying that you've read it and you agree to these terms. So make sure if you have any questions that you ask me. Like I said, I've looked this document over many times. I'm very human. I probably have an error or two. If it's significant, please let me know. Course orientation, I'm just going to give you a chance to look at that on your own. I don't really need to go over that in the video here. This just tells you more about me, my background. I included some websites that are related to like the CrossFit gym that I coach at, because that's a big part of my life. I included a link to my Instagram if you want to follow. It's public, because I do like represent a company called O2, so I had to keep my profile public. This is my family and my friend Dawn, but you can read more about it there. This is just maybe like another overview for you to look at, so I'm not going to go like into a lot of detail with it. There's some more maybe elaboration on things I've already addressed here. It's a little bit repetitive from the syllabus, so I won't go over it again. Oh, there are formatting requirements with like, I always want you to submit in a doc file or a PDF, so .doc or .pdf. If you don't know how to do that, then let me know and I will direct you to information about how to make those conversions. So that's course orientation. Next would be course frequently asked questions. This is pretty short and sweet. Do I really need my textbook? Yes, you do. Let's go ahead and get that. How do I be successful? I want you to plan to come to class, not at a designated time, okay? Whatever time is convenient for you. When you're alert, when you are distraction free, I want you to come to this class in Blackboard, and I want you to spend 30, 45 minutes, even if it's like 15 minutes at a time. Because let me talk about CrossFit for a minute. Like, that is a huge part of my life. I'm a CrossFit level 1 trainer. It's one of the best like stress reliever, stress coping strategies that I have, and I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life because of that, and like really putting nutrition as a priority now. Some days we have like these massive workouts. Like over the summer I trained my boys and I was like, okay, we're going to do this workout, and it included 100 burpees. And if you don't know what a burpee is, like most people don't really like them. I kind of like them now because they're very effective. But as far as like physical fitness, right? So to say like, I'm going to do 100 burpees, like that doesn't sound appealing to most people. But could you do 10? Yeah, I could do 10 burpees pretty quickly. So I do 10 burpees and I take a little break. All right, that's one set of 10. Let me do 10 more in about 5 minutes. So what I'm saying is like, when you've got this massive amount of work to do, whether it's physical activity or like academic work, chunk it up or like break it up into smaller sections, and it will be more fun and you will get a better result, and you'll have just a better attitude about it. Okay, so you're saying like, she wants me to come to class for 2 to 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours a week. Yeah, but maybe spend about 15 or 20 minutes in my class, take a break, go to another class. The advantage of you being online is that you now get to choose when you come to class, but you're not going to do well in my class or any of your other classes if you don't show up. So what do I mean by showing up? I mean going into your unit, like reading your textbook before if possible, going into your unit and looking at the PowerPoint, taking some notes, answering the review questions, maybe watching the video first and then answering the review questions. If you've read your textbook, you're going to be able to answer some of those questions before watching the video. that is something you want to be doing a little bit each day so that it's not overwhelming. We learn best when we expose ourselves to a little bit at a time. We can't really cram and expect to know this long term. It's not going to happen. And if that's what you've been telling yourself, well, in high school, I just studied to the last minute. And I waited till the last minute, I studied, I did well. Like, it's not going to work here. So I want you to consider these recommendations. This is how you will be successful in my class. So remember, you're not going to see anything in gradebook right now because you don't have any grades until you take your syllabus acknowledgement quiz and then you take the Blackboard practice or the Respondus monitor practice test. So take some time to explore the class. I've already spent way more time on this video than I meant to. I'm going to go back to read me first and just kind of summarize, like, these are the things that I want you to be doing. Okay, the last thing would be introduce yourself at the student discussion. It doesn't have to be as long as mine, but I wanted to give you an example. If anything else comes up, you have any questions, let me know. Put those in the course questions discussion here, or send me a course message. If you're like, I don't really want to put that out in front of everyone, then you can send me a course message. Right now, you're going to see that in my grades, there are just these two. I pretended to take Respondus the other day. That's why it says graded, but I didn't answer it. Just these two options here, and then the total, okay? But I will update you with how to understand gradebook, but it's all in the syllabus. The point system is very straightforward. And I think that's it. So again, welcome to my class. I am excited to get feedback from you. I appreciate your patience with me as I continue to build this course. And I promise you that I'm going to put forth my very best effort to teach you some really cool stuff that you'll be able to apply in any career that you're in every relationship that you're in. And I just really want to energize you for this semester. I want you to make this one like the best one that you've ever had. I really think that you could do that. And I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen too. Have a great day.